Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more than the meta. Guys, I'm going to be showing you how I run my offense on my West Coast playbook. I actually got a breakdown of how I run this offense. I actually have a couple adjustments that I'll be running in this scheme. I'm going against a guy that is a top 3,500 ranked player. He's got a little bit of almost 700 games underneath his belt, so he knows what he's doing when he's playing Madden. But it's surprising to me when it comes to playing against people that have extensive experience and are top ranked players, that sometimes they don't have very elaborate defenses and stuff like that. They've got real generic defenses, and whenever I run into somebody that runs a very generic defense, for the most part, if they're not disguising what they're doing and not providing pressure or making it difficult for you to make, I have to make fast decisions, how I can essentially carve them up. So just want to show you this gameplay. I'm going to show you basically how I make my adjustments. On offense right here, you can see I'm going to be switching over. I'm using the West Coast offense, and I use a custom playbook on defense primarily because I just don't want to have to worry about setting up my audibles and giving up a cheap touchdown in the first series. And usually what I like to come out of in the first play is just to make sure I'm reading the defenses correctly. And he's running a lot of cover 3 drop. You'll see that is a formation that he's going to show that he uses. So I just come out of a base defense. Now I want to show you something. See how this guy's slightly shaded in when he's shaded out? If he's slightly shaded on the outside, that generally means it's going to be cover 3. He does got 3 guys that'll look like they're going to fall back, but when all I have to really do is look at the slot receiver, and if the guy's on the outside, majority of the times it's going to be cover 3. So I'm going to go ahead and run some type of cover 3 beater. He crunches his lineup to take away the run. He spreads his guys out. But this guy has not changed his shade, so that means his defense is still the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cover 3 beater right here. And really what I'm looking for is this area right here. This is going to be really my first area that I'm going to look to, primarily because this sideline should be available for me because I'm going to be clearing that out with this route progression. And then I've got essentially a check down, and I've got this slant on the backside, and I've got this guy over the top, the coverage. But I always look to this. This is my number one against cover 3. So let's go ahead and watch how this play progresses out. This guy slides out, and that's giving me essentially a window that should open up right here. But let's see if the defensive back kind of floats up. He kind of does. See how he kind of flips and then comes back around? I got rid of the ball a little bit late right there, and his defensive back is able to come down and actually play that. So he gets a nice little deflection right there. But I'm going to come back to that play again and have some success with it. But you can see cover 3 coverage. Read it correctly because of the shading of the slot defender. So right here we've got, in this type of situation, see how this defender on the slot is on the inside, and I've got 4 guys, defensive backs, going back. When I see something like that, that's going to be cover 4. So I'm going to be thinking it's cover 4 with this type of coverage. That's what normally I'm going to see against somebody. So I'm just going to go ahead. I have a draw play right here because he ran basically three zone plays against me. And see if actually I decided to go ahead and jump out of this play because it was a passing situation, 3rd and 10. So what I go with this is I use my standard play right here. I'm going to go ahead and smoke this guy up. I've got a slant going off on the backside. I actually think I might have went ahead and streaked this guy up because I wanted to clear out this zone if it's cover 4 and try to give myself a window where I can hit my opponent right here. So I think that's what I did in this type of situation. Another read is going to be with this zip and this whip route and dig, is I'll be looking for that window right there because this should slide that defender out and give myself a nice little window right here. But I think what happens is I actually go ahead and clear out the route I do. So that's what I'm doing. I'm seeing cover 4. I clear out this route because I want to take this defender and push him up, and then I've got essentially a high-low area right here that I'm going to go ahead and take a look at. I'm looking high more than anything else. Guy's got to play the sideline, so the flat's coming out. This guy comes up, and I've got kind of a passing window right there. And you can see I go ahead and complete it. And I think I possession catched it. This defender actually is out of position slightly. And I'm able to go ahead and get a completion right there. He clicks on and gets himself out of position. So right there, get an easy completion and keep the chains moving. It was cover 4 drop. So back at it again. So this guy keeps throwing. His guy's slightly shaded to the outside, so that means it's cover 3. This guy, and he's pressing his guys down. And this is why I come out of a draw play if I got a guy that runs a lot of zone coverages against me, because if it's a draw, a lot of times what's going to happen is that it's going to get kind of a slight delay with the run. I'm faking some audibles right here in this type of situation to give me the impression that I'm not, I'm obviously going to go ahead and do some type of a pass play right there, and as a result I'm able to pick up 6 yards. So now, as you can see in cover 3, if I'm getting 6 yards per carry, I'll take that. I'm going to come back to this draw play. So draw play is my base play. He's got his guys pressed down, shaded in. I think this guy's slightly shaded on the outside. So right here, I think I jump into this play essentially, which has got this goofy running back route. I've got an out right here. I've got a drag underneath. I've got this post route, and then a streak. Is essentially how I have this set up. So the smart way to run this play, if a guy's not really if he's not disguising his coverages a lot, is to do a deep comeback route. That way you've got yourself basically 2 different routes that you can hit against anybody who's running a lot of man coverages. But he's running a lot of the generic plays right here. He takes this defensive end and uses it, and then pulls the guy over. I'm assuming he's probably thinking that he's worried about something right up over the middle, and I throw right behind him, because he's not going to be able to turn himself around with his defensive back, get a nice little completion, and pick up a first down on a 2nd and 4. So that's a pretty good play right there. And he goes into cover 3 seam. So he's just mixing it up, but he's using a lot of zone coverages for his coverage. Now I'm seeing cover 2 man. So he's got 2 high safeties right here. These guys are all slightly shaded in. So he's got a cover 2 man type coverage. I should be jumping into... let's see here. No, I actually jumped into... This is not a good read right here. All right, so this actually is cover 4. So I didn't show you all the play art, what I was seeing beforehand. He pressed everybody down. Cover 4 in this type of situation, I think I'm going to go and check it down to the running back underneath and just take the easy yards underneath, force my opponent to defend the flats. That's a great way to open up someone's offense. Is just essentially going ahead and checking down, and forcing them to make adjustments right there. So right here, I think he jumps into man coverages. So I smoke this guy up right here. That way, it pulls a defender out, and it will open up this outside sideline. But I've also got the 1 and 2 over here against man coverages against my opponent. And in this type of situation, I throw into the box because this guy's got outside leverage. Throw inside the box, but he's using his defensive end. He's not going to get the animations against me to get interceptions. So right there, got a nice little completion. So it was cover 2 man. I did read that correctly. I'm pretty sure that this corner route was open, but I went with the high percentage concept, which is that whip dig route concept that I've been using against a lot of the man people out there. So I think go ahead. I just jumped into just the basic man. Run right here. He slides his defensive line off. Pretty good slide right there. I'm able to go and cut it back in under the double team. Pick up 7 yards. Running play, once again, is just there to force him off. All right, so let's take a look at this. This guy's slightly shaded outside. He's pressed. This is cover 3. Should be cover 3 based on the alignments. So I've got the draw play set up. This is one of the reasons I have this as my base play, because you can see right here I'm able to go ahead and get another first down to get the ball down to the 4-yard line based on cover 3 drop. And then let's see here. So this guy's slightly off. He's slightly off. I don't think I run. Okay, so basically I run right here this particular play. This is a great play that I use down in the red zone. But if these defenders float up at all or float, basically I'm going to hit this area right here. This is going to be an easy touchdown reception, especially 4 yards out. But this is man coverage across the board. He's got this user out here. This guy comes floating out to this guy, and I just kind of wait for the play to progress. I get really good separation with my star wide receiver and get that ball off, because there's really the whole middle of the field is wide open, and he got himself tied up on the defensive line, and he might have been actually causing some type of a blitz off the edge. That might be one of the reasons why he's engaged with my guys. But I'm able to go to get rid of the ball really quick and get a completion, get a touchdown. So really good series right there. I think the next series is where I go ahead and make a mistake. I do get an interception. He's got his guys press down, press down, press down, slightly shaded on the inside. He's got a too high safety look. This is cover 2 man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this guy. Now he goes ahead and shades his guys to the outside, and it's a group shading. So because all these guys are shaded out, I think what he's doing is that he's actually manually shading his guys to the outside. So that's why you want to have a kind of a combination where you're going to be able to hit your opponent on the inside. So I jump into this particular play, which essentially is seeing if I can take a shot up top. I think I read cover 2, but this is really man coverage. What I'm doing with this type of play is I'm going to see if I can hit the seam. So let's see if I can. So here's my look. This is what I'm looking at. I'm seeing if I can hit this area right here, if it's cover 2, but this is cover 2 man. I've also got this as a cover 2 beater right over the middle of the field. And if it's basically some type of man read, the dig route should get separation and get inside. So that's where I'm looking to. I take a peek. This guy's floating up. He's trailing. He's going with it too. And then I think this guy trails too. So as a result, everything's locked up. He's using his guy right here, and here's my window to make this completion. And I just missed throw the ball. I don't know where I was going with it. Something was bad about that pass. That should have been a completion. Guy was wide open. His user was completely out of position, and he's using his defensive end. So there's just no reason for that to be a completion. That should be a completion and first down. So back at it again. So yeah, essentially this is the concept. I think I might have left this player art in. So right here, this is where I think I get a completion with the third. I think he's in cover 4 in this type of situation. He's got a cover 4 out here, and I've got this corner out off the corner, but you can see this area is just wide open. So why I like to make my progressions where I've got like a 1, I've got a 2, and then I've got maybe a 3 and then a 4 is that it's easy for me to progress and make progressions right there. So I just check it down underneath. I'll pick up the 5 or 6 yards, get short change right there. So I only picked a couple of yards on that. I probably wanted to get like 4 or 5. A defensive back played that perfectly, put me in a situation, and it was a cover 4 drop based by the shading of the inside of the slot receiver. So back at it again. He started jumping into cover 4 once again. See how this guy is slightly shaded on the inside? He's lined up. He's back. He's back. This guy's back. So what I need to do is construct a cover 4 beater. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to streak this guy up. I'm going to streak up this tight end. I'm going to put some type of a route concept, maybe deep comeback route, and do a wheel on the backside. What this does is because these guys right here have to play outside leverage to take away comeback routes and stuff like that. They're going to give seam routes, make those seam routes available for me, and then he should probably be using this guy right here. So let's take a look at this. How's this set up? See, I'm going to streak this up. And then I've got a deep comeback route, and I want to have a wheel right here. I'll check down to the running back with my concepts. But really what I'm looking at is I've got this deep in route. That'll probably be a 4th route. So I'm going to peek here as my 1. This is going to be my 2, my 3, and then I've got this route coming across, which will be my 4. Now I'm going to take a look at the seam right away and see what happens with the defender. This guy kind of floats. He floats out. He's kind of stuck right there. So I could throw that, but I just don't like it. I don't like this guy. I think like he can float into it. He's coming out. My next progression is to basically look at my 2. And you can see right here, this guy keeps sliding out to try to take away this deep comeback route. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this, and this is completely cleared out, and his user is completely out of position. So I'm going to go and check it down, and look at that. With the running back wheel route, against cover 4, I'm able to go ahead and pick up some massive yards right there. For 20 yards against him because he wasn't really rushing me at all. He's only rushing 2 people and then using his defensive linemen. I guess to take away additional reads, but I was completely on top of this guy as far as reads. Now I want to go and chew down the clock a little bit in this type of situation. So I'm going to go ahead and run the ball, try to get this into 30-second area. So do a nice little run. I probably could have ran the ball on the backside. I had better blocking off the backside, but I choose to go ahead and run it to the run area first. Right here is cover 2. Now look what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this clock right here. I want to try to get this down to inside 20 seconds. And the reason why is I don't want to give this guy any kind of an opportunity to get this into, get an opportunity to get it, some splash plays against me, against my defense. So I'm trying to work this clock down as much as possible. This guy's slightly shaded to the outside, so it's saying he's cover 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking for this area right here. Now this is where I make a mistake. This route progression, this corner route and streak route, is like a 20-yard progression. I got to have 20 yards of field, and I'm inside that area. This should be like, I should have at least, this ball should be on the 20, and I'm too close in to be able to use this concept to be able to hit this route right here. It's too close. So what I did is I'm working the clock down as much as possible in this type of situation with the anticipation that I'm not going to give this guy any kind of chance whatsoever. So I'm going to try to get this down to the 20, and then I'm going to snap the ball right here, snap it. You see this guy's sliding out, he's sliding up. I've got the check down underneath, but what I'm looking for is this corner route, but this is too condensed and your spacing is not correct. I can't go to this route right here, and this check down is going to be taken up. So the smart read is to go ahead and hit the running back underneath, but I choose to go ahead and throw this ball. These guys are in the back of the end zone. That was just a bad decision. It was just, I didn't have enough space. I didn't read it correctly. I got greedy because I got an interception against this guy. He's really struggling against my defense, and as a result, I give him the ball back. But you can see if I got a touchdown completion right there, would have basically left him nothing. Just maybe 2 plays right before the end of the game, and put him in a situation where he's going to be down. So get the ball in the second half here. He's showing me man coverage right now, so I'm going to go ahead and use this particular concept. Once again, I smoke this guy up because I want to pull this guy out, and I'm going to be looking to this route right here. And I think I was very deliberate because I've got this open space and I've been using the backside. Do I go have my whip concept in the backside? No, I streak this guy up. See if I can get him over the top. But let's see here. I'm going to be going to Hurst all the way. He's using his defensive end. I don't know why he's doing that. This guy's a top player. He's using his defensive end. I'm able to get a completion right there. There's no way he's going to be able to click on. You can see, because of the speed of my tight end, I'm able to go and pick up 30 yards on that completion. So it was a big completion right there for me. And it put me in the driver's seat with that because he's in the cover 2 man, and I can read the coverages based on his alignment. So back at it again. This guy's slightly shaded outside. That means it's cover 3. He's pulling his safeties down. These guys are straightened up. Let's see if I go ahead and go back to the tight end corner, or the tight end post. I do. So make my adjustments. Here's my standard play. If I see cover 3, if this guy's shaded on the inside, I see cover 3. Here's my 1, 2 underneath, 3, and there's my 4. That's what I'm looking to. So I'm going to be looking for this corner route right here. Haven't had success throwing this at all. Right now, let the guy clear, and then I'm going to go ahead and possession catch it right here on the sidelines. I want to get a completion. I want to show him I can throw this and get a completion, and to do that. So I get away with it right there with basically the route progressions, and sure enough, he's in a buzz seam, and that works out for me. So let's see here. He's showing me man coverage. You see how these guys are slightly shaded on the inside? Slightly shaded on the inside. He's got a double high safety. I think he's pulling his guys down manually. Let's see if I jump into just a standard inside zone. I want to make him guess about this, and no one, my blocker, goes to the outside guy, and he should be taking this guy out. That was bad blocking assignments, and there's the only reason why this should have been a lot better of a run. That should have been 8 yards instead of 2 at a bare minimum. So cover 4 right there with the coverage. Back at it again right now. Just want to try to use the clock up a little bit. This is my quick snap play. If I see zone coverages, I'm always going to be looking to this route. And right here I get away with one. He's using dagger point off the defensive line. Gets caught up on it, and I got lucky. If he would have scraped, he could have got an interception and took that the other way. So game's a lot closer than it should be. I felt like I was dominating this game, but it was like 7-0 right here. Now I come back to another play. He's showing me a lot of cover 4, so this is something I just threw into my scheme. And it's basically this play right here. It's just a halfback angle with an out, an Ohio concept off the left side. And I'm really looking to the halfback angle the entire time, because this route will push the defenders out, and these guys kind of have to float to this side. So I'm just going to be looking to the one guy, and this guy floats up. Give me the underneath route. He's pulling his dude up, and I'm just basically showing him a different area that hasn't been to, and once again I get a completion, get a first down. So that cover 4 was just not working for him. So right here, back at again. This is actually man coverages. This is a play that I've been seeing some pretty good success sporadically, but with the way he was running his defenses, this bubble alert bubbles play, the zone alert bubble play, I guess works really good against cover 2 man. So we're gonna have to come back to that and start lapping that out a little bit more if we see people run into that. This guy really didn't have any kind of a complex defense. He just ran things stock, and he was using his defensive end and just trying to take away some additional reads. So right here he goes into a wide defense, and I'm seeing this guy slightly shaded to the outside, so I know this is zone. So if it's zone, I can hit this guy with a draw play to get easy completions. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit this guy with some draw play. Even if I pick up 4 or 5 yards, it's fine. I want to go ahead and just make sure he's aware of that. He pulls himself out of position. These guys are pulling up. This guy's coming blocking down. But with the draw, it shows, just the easy way to go and do this against your opponent if you're blending him, passing with the zone. So shaded to the outside once again with the draw. And I think right here I jump into just another version of this. I'm going to show him, some type of a draw. And I think a wheel up the running back underneath. And I think that's probably going to be the area where I go to. No, actually he's in man coverage. This guy comes out, he passes, he goes with, and I've got basically the whip dig route concept on the back side if I see a man read. So I'm really watching if someone comes up and attacks this running back route, and then I go into my man progressions from there. I hit him with the whip, and with Chase's speed and agility, you can pick up more yards than normal with the concept. So back at it again. And just going to do a nice little inside zone against my opponent. Make sure they defend against the run. You have to blend that run back in. You can't be so predictable. You can't keep passing. Guys slightly shaded to the outside, so this is cover 3. If you got a guy slide it out like that, they're lined up correctly. He's baseline, but this guy's slightly shaded outside, so this should be cover 3. So I'm going to hit him with a draw. He presses everybody down. He brings in his middle linebackers trying to cover up his coverage, but I've already seen it. Now he switched. Something happens. He switches his guys. I don't know what he did, but because I'm not switching my play around, I'm not motioning my guys around, I'm able to go. I already had basically this streak set up. I just snapped the ball right away. and catch him out of position. This guy's completely out of position in his switch. I don't know what caused the switch. I don't know what he did in his defense, but we're able to go and expose him for an easy touchdown based on that. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. You know, this is essentially how I run my West Coast offense. I look at the shade of my defensive back and how I use the slot receiver to determine with the shading with the defensive back and what type of coverage I'm going to get. That's kind of like my focal point. And I've been using this type of a concept you know, pretty much for the second half of this year, and it really makes my offense unstoppable. So if you guys are looking for more tips and strategies to go ahead and take your game to your next level, make sure you go ahead and comment below, and you should take a look at my Patreon. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.